YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Justice coming at y'all with another YouTube read, another collective energy read. I hope this finds you guys at a clarifying time of your day. Remember to take a resonance and please leave the rest behind. It's going to get started. Appreciate all your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. Angels of the highest white light, please bestow upon me clear and concise channel messages for my collective needs to hear today. Most High, please bestow upon me and accommodating channel messages that accommodate with the main one that I have today. Thank you, and I say, whoever this is for, people have volunteered, or people in the past volunteered to see your sacrifice or your downfall in a way that was supposed to coin a certain outcome, maybe to benefit them or maybe to benefit their egos, emotional jurisdiction, validation, anything like that. But there's something about now these people or this person or whoever that applies to in the differentiating storylines are now afraid of the repercussions of what's to backfire, because a lot of you guys are elevating even higher, or you're elevating through something that could have been meant to either destroy or have you succumb to something in a lower vibration, or succumb to something that was maybe life-altering, life-changing. So the last part was tax season, karma season, right? And so a lot of you guys have been sacrificed or attempted to be sacrificed on a multitude of levels, a multitude of occasions, right? In regards to a lot of you guys being more independently solo in terms of your spiritual traditions or trajectories, and how you may or may not keep that so publicly known. So like, I'm on a YouTube channel, right? A lot of you guys may not share these types of insights or downloads or these type of conversations with like other people, maybe around you or close to you, maybe of that one person, maybe of a group, maybe of a community. But you may not share with those relative to you in terms of like physical reality as much, right? A lot of you could, but it differentiates. But for most of you, you probably don't. But this message is centered around, a lot of you guys go through occult abuse. A lot of you guys go through certain abuses from things that you couldn't change, or things that you couldn't really basically change, right? A lot of you guys have a certain energy about you that could be very different than those around you, and it's always this kind of message, but different in this way, in this message connotation. It's different in a way that may be something that you are able to do, or you are programmed to be. When I say programmed, created to be, right? Could differentiate from the societal norm or the propaganda or the agenda that is being pushed either around you or in society in general, or in your families, in a group, in an industry, whatever that is. And so this differentiating energy, this different type of energy, when I say different, such a general, basic kind of word, because it doesn't really go into that, because that differentiates for everybody. But unique is probably a better word, in a way that you are not really a commonality, so to speak. And so you usually tend to be isolated. And when I say isolated, it doesn't mean physically. It could be for a lot of people, right? But usually that comes with a lot of you guys. I myself isolated from certain people, right? In terms of not from the world, but from certain people, right? But a lot of times these things can be isolating on a psychological level or a spiritual level, when you feel like there's not as much resonance with certain communities or commodities that are supposed to be in your corner, right? A lot of you guys had people that were close to you, that were closest to you, that wanted to see your downfall behind your back, that talked about you behind your back, that were intermingling with different people that are all being sent in on different occasions to talk to you or ask you questions that are centered around what they're going to discuss with the next person behind your back, right? A lot of you guys have been through this whole kind of regime, because a lot of these things are not the same experiences for us, but it's usually aligned on the same coordinate, right? In terms of how we meet at this same point. A lot of you guys have this like-minded uniqueness to you in regards to how you fit into an ecosystem, or how you fit into a system. And it may not always be what you call accepted. And when I say accepted, it's not usually, that could be a real true thing for a lot of people. But like, accepted is what I'm saying. I'm saying by that, I'm saying like validated in regards to maybe how special, how unique, or how, let's say you're smart, or let's say you're athletic, or let's say you're different in this way. Let's say like musically as an example. I got some musicians watching me, shout out to y'all. Let's say you bring something totally different to this environment, right? Or to this culture, this genre, right? And it may not be able to be appreciated as much, right? Until maybe over time, or in hindsight, or when you see it from out of somebody else's eyes, or somebody else validates it, you know, shit like that. It's the best example I can give. But a lot of you guys have lived your lives like this on a general level that kind of corresponds to people not being able to either take your light or be able to digest it, right? And so there's something about, you know, a lot of times people have schemed against you out of jealousy, or out of, let's say you said one bad thing and somebody starts doing this or acts weird towards this, and they create beef with you out of this, or then they start circling things around you out of this, right? But it stems from something that really embodies a spiritual jealousy that may form a bigger vendetta in them to kind of have a reason to go at you, right? And I was kind of like a baseline kind of like example in regards to a lot of you guys go through these things on a social level with like families is a major theme I've seen in my soul collective, with your families or with an industry. Those are like the most popular ones in regards to like you being, let's see, like almost being positioned away from something that's uniquely yours, or positioned away from something that is yours, like an inheritance or a calling or a higher self, like an alignment. And something about that may just not sit right with an industry, a family dynamic, or somebody specific, or a group of people specifically that may have, you know, gone against your life in a way that was of sacrificial measure, or some type of, you know, scheme to lower you from something that you felt, let's say, and I want to go into, I was going to say felt powerful in or felt normal in, but I want to go into that because a lot of you guys don't get the jurisdiction, like the validation over the jurisdiction of your energy, or the jurisdiction of your talents, or whatever that really is for you, that it represents this uniqueness that usually is catered to in this way. A lot of you guys don't even really usually acknowledge it within yourselves because you usually don't have the validation outside of it. And so a lot of you guys have been trained or had to train yourself over time to find your own sense of validation, find your own kind of validation for certain, let's say, ways you talk, or the gifts and talents that you have, the interests that you have, the niches that you have, your ideas that you have, your beliefs that you have, or whatever you're embodying. And so let's go back to especially like group kind of bystander kind of behavior. A lot of you guys have been through this humiliation ritual kind of scheme where people are trying to haze you into grooming you into being a certain way that may not occupy what you give a fuck to occupy, right? And so a lot of times these things can kind of push over to a bigger, you know, it can go from a waterfall to an overflow, right? And that's kind of the easiest way I can put it in regards to, like, you know, waterfalls are easy going, it's flowing. But sometimes there can be something erratic, like a weather change, that can cause something to push over. And that can push over onto land, or that can push over onto whatever's around that, you know, surfacing. But that was kind of like a quick example I came up with. But a lot of you guys have had people go against you in a way that's pushed you harder, or pushed you more into a direction of your own calling, or pushed you more into yourself, or pushed you more into an understanding of yourself. And sometimes, you know, a lot of you guys understand that some people don't let go of certain shit that you may have said to them out of truth, or may have done, or may have pushed. Like a lot of you guys may have pushed away from people because of you not feeling like something wasn't reciprocal, or something wasn't this, or something wasn't that, or something wasn't truthful, or something was hurtful, or somebody was really trying to sacrifice your life, or, you know, shit like that. And so that can be taken to, a lot of you guys can relate, 909. When you're making that move for yourself, a lot of you guys have gone through jealousy, envy, envious behavior in regards to you making a certain decision that could be taken to a certain way by people that feel like they're more entitled to their opinion of you than you are of you, how you're walking through your own walk, right? And that'll make sense to a lot of people, right? I don't know why it was hard for me to get that through. A lot of you guys have elevated, right, into a higher consciousness or a vibration that A lot of you guys, let's go into this first. A lot of you guys have started to, not started to, a lot of you guys have been doing this for a long time. A lot of you guys have been coping through mechanisms of self-love or healing, or mechanisms of self-gratification, which can represent self-love, and like working out or doing something productive or finding like something that you're passionate about to take, either take your focus off of something or detour your focus from something that may have been detrimental to your life or may have been somewhat harmful to you. And so a lot of you guys have had people go against you in certain chastising ways, or spreading lies about you, spreading truths about you, maybe that are not, so appropriate to spread, right? In regards to trying to push your character down, push your work down, push your occupation down, push your I talk to influencers too on here, your influence down, or your whatever you call that, status or shit like that. I don't really give a fuck, but shit like that can be a cornerstone for somebody else that's looking outside of you, in regards to somebody yearning what you have, or yearning or seeing or imagining themselves in your position, or imagining for you in a way that may not be really accurate to what you're really living, or really accurate to what you're really going through, or accurate to what it is that you really carry within yourself as a character, right? And so a lot of times people can kind of try you in a certain way because they feel like they know you in a certain way, which is why a lot of you guys have this centering theme around family, bosses, associates, friends, right? In regards to this dynamic that plays out, where people feel comfortable to fuck you over, or people feel comfortable to do something that they think they know to do in regards to a ritual, or in regards to this, or spreading a rumor, a lie, and getting people against you. That is kind of in itself one of those forms, right? In regards to kind of throw you off. A lot of you guys have had mental magic thrown on you. A lot of you guys, I haven't gone into that too much. I'm probably gonna have a video on that. A lot of you guys have gone through manipulation psychologically from people that want to train you to act a certain way. Or a lot of you guys have gone through psychological gaslighting in regards to people acting like something is not what it is, right? A lot of you guys have gone through things that you've had to move through or past in a certain way that people don't know how it's gonna come back, right? And so people may try to keep attached to you, people may try to keep clung to you, or people may try to make it right with you, or people may try to do this with you, or people may try to manipulate their way back into your life, but it's usually on the accord of what it is that your energy provided for them to begin with. That may not have been gratified at first. And all of us, we all change, we all grow, we all evolve, right? There's a difference with this message in regards to the specific scenarios I'm speaking about. And a lot of you guys go through energies, or you've encountered energies that really have tried to damage you, or your sense of self, or your sense of whatever that is, through sacrificial measures, or through certain heinous actions, right? Or spreadings of rumors, right? That are centered to try to harm your sense of worth. I'm gonna talk about sacrifices, right? A lot of times the agenda over sacrificial nature is to lower your vibration enough so that they can take your soul out your body. A lot of times, a lot of you guys have a lot of protections around you. In regards to, people understand that you may have people fighting on your behalf, may have spirits fighting on your behalf, or God fighting on your behalf. So it really can come into a certain scenario that, or they have to create a certain scenario. So humiliation rituals, or lowering your sense of worth, or trying to do this or do that, to try to lower you enough to sacrifice you out of your own body, right? And sometimes it doesn't have to be for death. It can just be for somebody to have control over something, somebody to accrue something that was meant for you. Something that was meant for you could have been a cornerstone theme for somebody else's trajectory to chase or to take from you. A lot of you guys relate to these messages because a lot of you guys possess this energy that I'm speaking about, this uniqueness. And there's a reason because of this uniqueness in regards to what's supposed to set you apart. I always have said it. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. But like, my OGs already know, I've been saying this for a long time, right? A lot of you guys have a certain thing about you that sets you apart, and it's usually the thing that makes you uncomfortable, shy, or maybe shameful, or this or that, because that is the difference that makes it more apparent to other people that, okay, this person's different, or this is how this person's different. It's not like, as a soul, we're not looking at it like that, but that's how we're taking in the information. May get a little more attention than people do, may get a little more taken to you financially than people do, in regards to like money may come easily to you. Certain things may come easily to you. And when I say easily, it may be something about the flow or how you accrue things, right? As if it's some type of good luck, right? And so a lot of people may take to you on an opportunistic scale, and I'm literally gonna make a video about that, to kind of be able to ride your coattails in a way, right? And so a lot of you guys have had these discussions, or with yourself, or maybe a discussion with that one person or a few people, or maybe you've tried with a multitude of people and they make you look crazy. That's a whole nother thing, the gaslighting, right? And so a lot of you guys go through certain scenarios like this because of your energy supposed to define itself. And usually God gets through like that in regards to you not being able to kind of answer to other people that are following a circuit, right? When you're meant to lead a circuit, right? And some people are following a circus, right? And you're not meant to follow through with the circus. And so things may fall out. People may fall out of your life. Things may just keep falling out until God can get through to you. And so a lot of you guys understand this, right? A lot of you guys have evolved to a point where these things keep backfiring when you're not, either folding out of your highest alignment, or a lot of you guys are not folding out of what is for you, right? A lot of you guys have gifts and abilities that maybe your sibling wants, or maybe like your friend wants, maybe this industry associate wants, your coworker, whatever that is, right? And so you may go through certain aspects of, this rebellious behavior from other people in regards to just being reciprocal to you, or just being difficult to be cordial with you. For the reasons being that there's an undermining theme of jealousy, resentment, or envy, right? And so these things, when you're really casting, it's almost like they're casting stones from a glass house, right? In regards to people attempting to sacrifice you, or attempting to, humiliate your life or take you out of your position. And when it backfires, people begin to be very fearful of how that corresponds to them, right? What that means for them. So if they didn't get what they wanted, they know that they're definitely not going to get it now, right? So a lot of times you guys are moving into bigger opportunities or bigger things after the separation from certain things that may have fucked you over, or separation from certain environments or places or beings of self, like versions of self or identifications of self. And when I say that, like how you're identifying with your mind, right? How you're looking at the world, how the world's looking at you, how you view that, how you view those things. Sometimes that renewal is what sets you apart on a different paradigm, right? And so a lot of you guys have moved across different paradigms because of the massive shifts you've gone through. And these shifts correspond to karma and a lot of detriment or debt. Let's say detriment could be a word, I channel detriment. But debt is what I was looking for in regards to other people having to kind of correspond to what they may have intended for you or put you through, right? And so that's my last one. If you need a personal with me, hit up Shamika-san with a C and Shamika@gmail.com. I appreciate your likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. I got a few partnerships in the description. Other than that, it's a little bit longer one, but I'm going to get started on some other reads. But I appreciate all the love and encouragement and support. Your boy Justice, sending my love and ashe.